Really excited for today's show, talking about how to reduce your lifetime tax bill with a Roth IRA. And then my friend and business partner Art Canfield is going to be talking to his children about taxation, so you want to stay tuned for that. And then the maximum Social Security benefits in 2024 and how to best utilize those, along with traditional and Roth IRA rules. So it's all this and so much more coming up right here, right now on Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well, plan to retire well.
What a special treat. You get to hear us talk now about taxes and especially what that looks like over your entire lifetime. But good news, we'll eventually get into a potential solution when it comes to specifically with a Roth IRA. But when we're thinking about this and trying to get a visual concept, I think of, would you rather pay tax on the seed, so the small amount, or on the harvest? So similar with your retirement accounts, okay, when you put into, say, a traditional 401k, a traditional IRA, you get a small tax break for that, but then guess what? As that grows over your lifetime, now you've got a large tax liability on this asset. So again, that's where it gets into this option that we like to look at when we're talking to clients as far as a Roth IRA. So Joe, maybe walk through the basics of that before we dive too deep.
Yeah, absolutely. A Roth IRA, oftentimes we talk about investment diversification, but we really need to have tax diversification. A Roth IRA allows us to really take control of our taxes today by putting our money in a position where it's going to grow in a tax-free manner. So as John mentioned, so if we put, say, $20,000 in this investment account, we let it grow for 30 years and it turns into $100,000, all that growth is going to be tax-free. And then as we're taking withdrawals out of that account, those are also going to be tax-free. Another nice benefit with Roth IRAs is you don't have RMDs and they pass on tax-free to heirs. The downside, like everything in life, there's pros and cons. Some of the cons are there's limitations on who can contribute to Roth IRAs, so you have to have earned income. There's also limitations on how much money you can make. So if you're a high income earning family, you may not be able to contribute through direct contributions as you traditionally would.
Right, most definitely. And that's where I think of like the different generations and how they could utilize potentially the Roth IRA. And so maybe with the younger generation, when you have a lower income and that tax break of putting money into a traditional IRA or 401k isn't as favorable, well, maybe you just are using that after-tax money to put into a Roth IRA. I think of a client who was able to, as part of a plan for his son and build up the Roth IRA. So at an early age, when his son was working, he was helping contribute on his behalf into a Roth IRA, and now he's been able to build a lot of tax-free assets. So in 2024, the maximum contribution is $7,000, and if you're age 50 and older, it's $8,000. But I know more specifically for retirees, there's options that you want to consider.
Yeah, so with Roth IRAs, again, they give you a lot of flexibility. So where often we see these come into place is I had a client a few years ago, retiring, had great pension, had some PTO buyout, had deferred comp payout, really high income year, but he had to have that duck boat that year. So we were able to utilize his Roth IRA to still be able to go and purchase that toy that he wanted, but not really increase his tax liability. So the Roth, again, is giving you flexibility inside of that account or inside your investments to be able to pull from different areas to leverage not paying extra tax, but still being able to do everything you want to do in retirement.
Another area that you may want to consider with the Roth IRA is potentially from a legacy planning perspective. So maybe there's assets within your retirement accounts that you're thinking, well, I may never spend this money over my lifetime, but I'd love to see the children or grandchildren be able to utilize these assets. And so that's where you can look at the idea of Roth conversions and transitioning money from traditional IRA to Roth IRA, or maybe you've been contributing to your Roth IRA all along. Now, when assets are passed on to a non-spouse, children, grandchildren, etc., there is a 10-year window that they would have to distribute those assets. It'd still remain tax-free for them, but there are certain requirements that come along with that. So again, it's one where Not sure if, as you're looking at your overall portfolio, and as Joe mentioned earlier, this tax diversification. So often, as investment advisors, people are talking about the stocks, bonds, and all of that, but what about from a tax perspective? So I'm not sure if you have a Roth IRA or if you've ever looked at that closely. Because again, it's not just about the investment side. It's so important to look at the tax liability and what that can look like over your lifetime. So if you want more information on that, we encourage you to go to youtube.com/retiring well. We have a number of videos out there to help educate you on that. And then we'd love the opportunity to sit down with you for a no cost, no obligation visit, just to better understand your situation and ultimately see if a Roth IRA might make sense for you.
Make the most of Social Security. Although Social Security isn't designed to cover all of your income needs, it's an important part of the retirement puzzle. Download our free booklet on the Social Security decisions at cen-wealth.com and learn how to optimize Social Security for your situation. Why timing is so important when it comes to your benefits, ways to supplement your Social Security, and more. There is no cost and no obligation. Simply go to cen-wealth.com, scroll down, and click the download link to get your free booklet on the Social Security decisions.
Are you nearing retirement or in retirement? Have you had your portfolio just looked at or have a second opinion on that portfolio recently? Centennial Wealth is a full-service advisory firm, and we have multiple locations in northern Michigan. I'm in the Gaylord office primarily. The office is right downtown Gaylord. Also up in the Petoskey office as well. That office is right off of 31. I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to sit down and chat, and it's a free, no-obligation consultation, so just call the number on the screen.
Welcome to Kids Corner here on Retiring Well. I'm blessed to be joined with my beautiful daughter, Faith. She's one of our 5 children and one of our oldest daughter. Today we're going to be talking about teaching children about taxation. You know, they say that somewhere between the ages of 6 and 12 is when most children start to learn about money and kind of responsibilities that go along with money. So Faith, being 11 years old here, we're going to be talking about kind of the ways that we've started talking about taxation and the importance of learning these various things. Kind of a fun thing that we've done over the years is we have dad tax, right? And Faith, tell everybody, what is dad tax?
Dad tax is when I have ice cream and Dad buys it and Dad gets to eat some. Or on movie nights, when there's a hand in your popcorn, that's Dad.
Right. So basically, kind of to have fun of this, and I'm sure some of you other dads probably have done this over the day, is you get that standing in line at the ice cream store and you see your kids get this delicious, cone or something like that, and you take a bite of their ice cream, or maybe you went through the drive-thru at a restaurant and maybe you take a couple of French fries or something like that along in there, and I jokingly say to the kids, it's dad tax. Well, what am I doing? I'm kind of, one, maybe their food looked good, but 2, it's a light way to teach children about taxes and kind of income tax. So when we're talking about taxes, and especially when I talk to children about taxes, I don't get too specific at young ages about the differences between income taxes and property taxes and sales taxes. I just start to kind of plant the seeds of what is taxation and what is that. So Faith, what are some of the things, and 2, keep in mind here, we're teaching children about this, so we don't want it to be a negative experience. We're not, we all grumble about taxes typically, and we pay too much, or you don't like what it's being spent for. Put aside that for just a little bit here. Faith, what do taxes go for? When we pay our taxes, whether it's when we pay sales tax at the store, or we talk about dad tax, money coming off of something you have. So Faith, where does our tax money go?
It goes to paying police officers and firefighters and helping take care of our roads, building schools, some parks.
Yeah, absolutely. No, those are perfect things. So teaching children about kind of where your tax money starts to go, so they understand when these taxations come out, whether it's a paycheck down the road or so, that what are some of the services we get to enjoy, having police officers out there protecting us, having maybe the road commission clear the paths in the winter for us up north here, stuff of those lines, so we can start to understand where is that going. So Faith, where do we pay the tax to?
The IRS.
So again, not trying at a young age here, not getting very specific again with types of property taxes and where it's going. So the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, talking about like an income tax situation. So again, when you're starting to talk about taxation to your children, make it fun. Remember, experiences tend to last longer, especially with young minds. So you want to be able to have them understand, what's going on here, where this money is going towards, and what that is. So that first part of it you get to make here, is kind of getting taken off the top. That ice cream cone, right, is dad's taking a little bit of that. With taxation, it's going to be very similar to that. They're taking a little bit off the top, if you will, and it's going for, in many cases, great causes of the benefits that we get to have here in our system. So again, if you're somebody out there and you're looking to help teach your kids, hopefully this is helpful. Remember, experiences create memories, and that helps stick with them as they go along to help your children and your grandchildren be financially smart and be confident with their money.
Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put an effort to provide and take care of your family, to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From investments and insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
As you are planning for retirement, where's your journey taking you? Do you know where you are going? How are you going to get there? And what's the best route to take? Do you have a personal retirement roadmap? At Centennial Wealth Advisory, we specialize in retirement planning, and we have designed a complimentary retirement roadmap video series that can be customized based on your personal circumstance and preferences. There is no cost and no obligation. Simply go to cen-wealth.com/roadmap and provide us with some basic information that will guide you to your on-demand, customized retirement roadmap video. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
Hey, welcome to this segment on the maximum Social Security benefit in 2024 and how to earn it. You know, we have people come into our office all of the time asking about Social Security. How should you file? What should your strategy be? How does it impact your taxes? And so forth. And so maybe today we can learn a little bit of how would you get to that maximum benefit? Okay, what is the formula? What are the equations? How is it calculated? Let's start with what that maximum is. In 2024, the maximum monthly Social Security is $4,873 per month, which comes out to be just over $58,000 a year. So if that's your goal, how would you be able to get there? Well, the first thing that they're going to do is look at your work history. So they're going to take your highest 35 years of work history income, and they take an average on that. In order to get Social Security, you have to have at least 10 years of work history in order to earn that Social Security benefit in retirement. And so the highest 35 years of your work history will then go into the formula for them to determine how much you're going to get paid. The next thing that you're going to have to look at is how much have you paid in taxes? And so when you are working, you pay 6.2% in Social Security tax. Your employer pays 6.2% for a combined total of 12.4%. If you're self-employed, you get to foot the bill for the entire 12.4%. But what they will do is there's actually a Social Security tax limit. Okay, so in 2023, that tax limit was $160,200. And so once you got past that limit, you actually didn't have to pay any more Social Security tax. And that limit is something we'll come back to. That limit now goes into your earning history. And if you've earned more than that in 2023, you actually pass that limit. You get the most you could possibly get eventually when it comes to your Social Security benefit. And then in 2024 now, that limit is $168,600. Okay, so after you reach that Social Security tax limit, no longer will that 6.2% be coming out of your payroll. And it goes into that earnings history for you. So let's say that, for an example, you made $200,000 and somebody else you knew made $2 million, okay? Well, there's a limit, okay? So you're both going to get the same benefit per that example because of the limit. So the next thing that's going to come into you earning that maximum benefit is which age you decide to turn on your Social Security benefits. You can turn on as early as 62, or you can wait till you're 70. So what happens is between age 62 and your full retirement age, Social Security benefits are rising about 6% a year for you. From your full retirement age to age 70, your benefits growing about 8% a year. So let's do a quick little takeaway. If you want to get the maximum benefit, you will have to have hit that Social Security tax limit for the last 35 years and wait until you're 70 years old, and then you'll get that maximum benefit. Some people will say to themselves, you might be sitting there, well, I can never do that. Okay, well, you're not alone. There's a lot of retirees that are not in that boat, but what boat they are in is trying to figure out how to maximize their strategy and their benefits. And that's where we get to come in and help. You know, people ask me, do you do the same thing every day? And I'll say no, because every single person's situation is different. They all have different numbers, they have different goals, they have different risk tolerances, they have different strategies, they have different life experiences. And so when we sit down, you know, with a client and we go through all of those questions and take that holistic approach, every single one really is individualized. And so you might be sitting there saying, well, what's a good place to start? Well, you can go to cen-wealth.com, and there we have a free 16-page Social Security guide. It's a great place to go and just start that education and maybe start that process for maybe you need to sit down and talk with us, and we can just, you know, no obligation, no pressure, just try to help you figure out how to plan to retire well. Have a great day. Hi, my name is Jack Klunder, and I am a financial advisor with Centennial Wealth Advisory. I work out of our Cadillac office, and we specialize in retirement planning. We take a very holistic approach. We can help go through all the different aspects of planning that are involved in retiring well. So if you are nearing or in retirement and you have questions that you want to go over, please give the number on the screen a call, and we can have and set up a free, no obligation consultation.
What can Retirement Analyzer do for you? Retirement Analyzer is a software tool that can help you prepare today for your financial future. You've worked hard to save for your retirement, but as you near your retirement, you may have concerns. Have I positioned my retirement savings wisely? Have I saved enough for retirement, and will my savings last throughout my lifetime? What impact could inflation have on my future expenses? What if I suffer a long-term illness? Will I have enough money to cover my medical care expenses and still be able to meet my other financial obligations? Could changes in the income tax rates disrupt my retirement strategy? There's no need to be in the dark as you prepare for your retirement. Retirement Analyzer can help you find answers to all these questions and more. The first step is providing us with information on your financial assets, the type and current value of those assets, as well as your sources of income. Then, we work with you to identify your expected expenses in retirement. This will include a discussion of the lifestyle you envision in retirement, travel, a summer residence, whatever you dream your retirement will be. We'll input the information you provide us into the Retirement Analyzer, and in a very short time, we'll have reports that show us the percentage of assets currently in high-risk vehicles, as well as the percent in lower-risk products. Retirement Analyzer enables us to project your income from year to year in your retirement and see how long your retirement savings may last. As we change the conditions of the report, delaying your retirement date, including costs for long-term care, adjusting the expected tax rate, or adjusting your retirement strategies, we can see how changes in these variables may impact your income in retirement and the longevity of your retirement savings. Let the Retirement Analyzer help you test drive your retirement strategy today, because the time to discover the bumps in the road is not once your trip through retirement has begun. Contact our office today to schedule an appointment for your Retirement Analyzer review.
Make the most of Social Security. Although Social Security isn't designed to cover all of your income needs, it's an important part of the retirement puzzle. Download our free booklet on the Social Security decisions at cen-wealth.com and learn how to optimize Social Security for your situation, why timing is so important when it comes to your benefits, ways to supplement your Social Security, and more. There is no cost and no obligation. Simply go to cen-wealth.com, scroll down, and click the download link to get your free booklet on the Social Security decisions.
As we all know full well, life is just full of rules, right? And retirement planning, that's no exception. A huge part of retirement planning is navigating all those various rules associated with your retirement accounts. So today I want to talk about specifically traditional IRA and Roth IRA rules, to include contribution limits, deduction rules, and those pesky IRA distribution rules later down the road. Okay, so let's start with determining how much you can actually stash away in those IRA accounts on an annual basis. So for 2023, the contribution limit is $6,500. Now, there's an exception to that rule though. If you are age 50 or older, you get a catch-up contribution amount, and that amounts to $1,000 extra that you can stash away. So if you're age 50 or older, you don't do $6,500, you can do up to $7,500. Now, one thing you also have to remember is that you have to have earned income in order to be able to contribute to the IRA accounts. So what does that mean? Well, I have a lot of clients where they retire, they're doing some sort of part-time income or part-time work to generate some income, and they still want to stash away a little bit of money in that IRA account. So if, for example, you're only making $5,000 a summer working at the golf course part-time, and you'd like to stash away $7,500 in that IRA account, Well, you don't have enough earned income to stash away that full $7,500. So you can only put away that $5,000 that you've earned, okay? Now there is an exception to that rule as well. So let's say, for an example, you're a married couple and one spouse is working while the other is not. Maybe they're a homemaker, they're staying at home with the kids, and you still want to be able to have an IRA for them even though they don't have that earned income. You can do that. So you can open up what's called a spousal IRA for that homemaker that doesn't have the earned income and still contribute up to whatever the limits are for that person. So whether it's $6,500 or if they're over age 50, up to $7,500. So those are the contribution rules for the IRA. But what about the deduction rules, right? That's a huge benefit of being able to put money away into the IRAs to get that tax deduction. The big thing to remember there is if you do not have access to any kind of company retirement plan, whether that's a 401k or 403b for an example, if you don't have access to one of those types of plans with a company, then there's no income limits, okay? So you can contribute up to your max without having to worry about making too much income and being disqualified from being able to contribute to that IRA. Now, if you do have access to a company 401k plan or a 403b plan, there are some specific rules as far as how much you can earn and still get that IRA deduction. So you want to make sure that you're meeting with your financial advisor or your accountant to determine where you're exactly at with that to make sure that you can capitalize on that full deduction. There's certain phase-out limitations and, of course, income limitations that would apply. All right, now let's talk about withdrawals, taking money from the IRA. Yes, there's rules putting money into it, and there's rules taking money out from it. Okay, so the magical age for IRA distribution is age 59 and a half. So if you take money out from the IRA before that age of 59 and a half, you could be subject to penalties. Now, there are some exceptions to that, like hardship exceptions and so forth, so you want to make sure you're meeting with your advisor on that as well. But if you wait until after the age of 59 and a half, you don't have to worry about paying that 10% penalty. But remember, when you're taking money out of those pre-tax accounts like the IRA, that would be taxable. So don't forget, you got a partner in that IRA in Uncle Sam. And then finally, the Roth accounts. So Roth accounts, operate very similar, except they're after-tax accounts. They do have some contribution limitations there as well. So if you make over $228,000 a year, you cannot put money into a Roth account. So that's one thing that you want to make sure you're well aware of. All right, well, I hope you learned something today. Lots of different rules out there to pay attention to. It's a big part of retirement planning, making sure you're understanding all the different rules that are associated with those investment accounts. But it doesn't stop there. There's a whole bunch of rules with estate planning, health insurance planning, income planning, and so forth. So make sure you're meeting with an advisor to go over all of it for you to plan to retire well.